Call meeting to order. Clerk, please call roll.
Burgess.
Here.
Jones.
Here.
Myers.
Here.
Tate. Here. Washington.
Here.
Williams.
Yes, everyone stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
With item number 2, public comment or questions and comments is directed to the mayor. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes to comment on topics on agenda items only. Each speaker will be allowed 1 opportunity to speak. You have anything, please come to the mic.
Mr. Mayor, point of order. I would like to suspend that rule for tonight. You were not present last week or in the last 2 weeks, I think. We had a discussion about this. So for the purpose of the meeting tonight, I motion to suspend that rule. Excuse me.
Second.
All right, trustees, number 1, we have an ordinance that's in place. There's a reason for this. And I know you both are new to the board. I think we can even look at examples prior to you being appointed. The night that we were having budget hearings, how fights started in the public. And there's reasons for having time limits. Number 1, to keep order in the quorum. Number 2, to allow all the residents the opportunity to speak. And I think that the other thing is to change an ordinance. It has to first go before an ordinance review committee. There has to be discussion for that to happen. So
I'm not asking for a change, I'm asking for suspension for tonight.
No.
That was my motion.
all right, we got a motion and a second. Clerk, please call roll.
Burgess.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Myers.
No.
Tate.
Yes.
Washington.
No.
Williams. No. Mayor.
Mayor votes no. All right. Go back to public comment. I already read this, so if you have anything, please come to the mic. Agenda items only. All right, so you want to come to the mic and move to the mayor's report? All right. Move to the mayor's report. First of all, I want to make sure all residents remember that this Saturday from 9 to 11, we have Meet the Mayor here at the Village Hall. We also would like to let the village residents know we've got a certificate from us again, that's recycling that we use here at Sauk Village. The certificate sustainability for 2014 for the Village of Sauk Village on textiles. We had 26,824 pounds collected. On water saved, we saved 37,553,600 gallons of water was saved. Land space, there was 154 cubic yards saved. CO2 emissions, there was 187,768 pounds prevented. And garbage truckloads was 6 truckloads diverted. So they sent us a nice little certificate telling us about we're good stewards in the community. We'll pass this off to the village clerk. All right, with that said, we move to the village clerk, Ms. Debbie Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tonight I passed out a memo to all the trustees, and I will be passing it out to all committee chairs. If you have not already done so, please complete the Open Meetings Act training as soon as possible. You will receive a certificate at the end of that meeting online when you do that. Please give the village clerk a copy of that certificate. The Open Meetings Act training is located on the Attorney General's website, and the website is on this memo. All meeting agendas must be posted within 48 hours of the meeting, which includes the meeting date, time, location, and purpose of the meeting. It is the responsibility of all committees to post their own agendas, and when requested, and also, I'm sorry, there's an error on here, I just want to say that I'm going to change that before I distribute it. But all committees are responsible to post their own agendas, maintain their own minutes, and turn all of those into the clerk at the end of the year. Throughout the year, they're to keep the minutes themselves in case they are FOIA. At the end of the year, I would happily accept them. Now, as far as the open meetings and the meeting agendas being posted, that also applies to the village board meetings. So you know, for those of you who don't know, village board meetings are posted in the hallway and on the website and at the library within no less than 48 hours of the meeting time. Meetings are called, canceled, and times are changed throughout from day to day. So if you really want to know when the meetings are being held, the best thing to do is to check the hallway at the village hall, check the website prior to, after 7 o'clock on Sunday, or go to the library, or call me, whatever you need to do. The meeting notices are posted within the 48-hour limit. So it applies to committees and court. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Move to the village attorney, Attorney McGrath.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of items. I sent out the email to you and the village clerk and the village trustees this afternoon through my secretary, a new lawsuit that was filed by a former employee in federal court. And piggyback on the Open Meetings Act, a recent opinion by the Attorney General regarding the Open Meetings Act. For the new trustees, I sent it through Trustee Jones said that he didn't get it, so I think there may be an issue with your emails. So I just asked for whoever needs to work on it, make sure your emails are around so you get this information.
I made copies and I'll put them in their box.
Okay, they're still going to need information. Lastly, a couple weeks ago, Felicia Frazier from her office had sent over an HBA or intergovernmental agreement between Sauk Village and Calpina, or Tango City, for the dispatch center. That, although it was a rough draft, it was a rough draft. If you take a look at that, send me comments or questions on that. Okay. As far as that agreement, it's got some provisions in it. It has to be worked out. I also learned from Kennedy Park that based upon contract with vendors taking longer than they thought, it was going to transfer over on July 1st, but we're looking at August 1st now. Okay.
Question.
Does it help you here? Walk it over.
As far as the dispatch center in Kennedy Park, known as Calpina, they tried to get up and running by July 1st. Based on contract problems or negotiations with some of their vendors, it's going to be more like August 1st. So until that opens up, the dispatch as it stands today with Kurt's dispatch now at your center will continue until they move to the new facility.
Question. And Madam Clerk, can answer this. You gave Trustee Myers and I a copy of, I guess, the complete agreement. Remember we had.
You requested a copy of it.
Right.
No, sir. I gave you a copy of the CalCom. What Mr. McGrath is referring to is the CalCom agreement, which is a rough draft of something the board was presented last week for review, and I told you I'll give you the board. Pardon me?
I think what happened is it was printed out, you're missing the pages. So if you don't have the full agreement, let me know and I'll make sure.
I'm trying to clarify. She gave Trustee Myers and I a complete agreement. I'm trying to find, is that the same agreement you're speaking of?
It is, it's with Calcom, because that's what it's doing.
You used the word Kurtz. A lot of people are confused. Kurtz is staff and CalCom is the dispatch center. What I gave you was the total agreement for CalCom.
Okay.
Right. And
I'm
you also
using the
asked,
synonymous.
right, but that's where there's a confusion for several people. CalCom is the building and Kurtz is the staffing. What I gave you was an entire copy of the CalCom agreement, and you also requested a copy of the Kurtz agreement so you can work with them together. So I did provide both of you at the time.
Trustee Burgess.
I do have questions I asked last week, but you weren't here, so we kind of tabled it. The first one was, on this agreement, I saw that we would have to provide insurance for Calumet Park for the dispatch building, that we would have to insure that in case something is dispatched incorrectly or some mistake is made, they're not liable, that our insurance will pick that up, and that's a $5 million policy. Is that correct?
That's in there. I would suggest to go along with that provision in that agreement.
You said you
Would not.
Thank you. And then the second one, the waiver that's there that stated that Cal Park is not liable for anything. In other words, if anything happens, again, on behalf of Cal Park, or I'm sorry, the facility give out wrong information or do something, that they're not liable for that. And that's also represented on the waiver.
That I would have to look at. There was a provision as far as if it's an act of God, a catastrophe, that they're not liable unless there's another provision. If you want to send your questions and comments, we'll probably have to have it up on a committee meeting.
I was going to say, we need to discuss, there's a lot of things
For
in
sure.
there that I didn't, that I just highlighted a few things, but yes, we need to, because you just stated the first one, that's part of this right here, that you would recommend that we not. And my third question, who represents CalCom? What law firm represents CalCom or CalCom?
CalCom, how's the check?
Trustee.
Did you say that you have reviewed this and is that concerning yours also, would be responsible? We don't have employees there and it's not our center. How can we be responsible for anything that happens?
That's the provision that we would be taking out. It was sent as a draft to be discussed. As you know, we have a village attorney, most of you committee, the whole meetings, the workshops, so if somebody had been, they would explain it, but since we weren't here, we can explain.
Is the council going to be present at the committee meeting for discussion of this agreement? Well, I thought we were going to be tonight at 6, but something happened. Correct?
No, there's no meeting 6 months. There's no agenda. I think there was a misunderstanding that there was a possibility there could have been a 6 o'clock meeting tonight. I think the board was given notice, what was it, last week, that there was a possibility there could have been a 6 o'clock meeting, so you're all scheduled for that. However, since you did not receive an agenda for 6 o'clock meeting, there was no meetings posted, there was no 6 o'clock meeting.
Well, we can't assume, just because there was no agenda posted, that everything is off the table.
Well, you can't assume because if there's no agenda, there's no meeting.
Well, that means held without agenda.
No, not the municipal.
When I talked to the village clerk last week, I did not hear the word possibility of the 6 o'clock. I was pretty much, I rearranged my schedule to be at 6 o'clock. I was not told a possibility. So if you're gonna have meetings scheduled, we need more than possibility. Everyone has an individual life. We all work. We cannot rearrange our schedule on possibility.
If there's a meeting scheduled, there's an agenda put out, and you'll receive an agenda saying what time the meetings are. If you don't have an agenda, there's no meeting. And the agendas will come out 48 hours prior or longer.
Mr. Mayor, are we going to have this on the committee of the whole next week to discuss this agreement?
I think, first of all, if you have any questions or concerns, you need to get your information to the attorneys so that they can work out and make any adjustments to this. So when we sit down with this agreement, we have a lot of the information taken care of prior to sitting down. I don't know if I don't have we have a rough draft, but I don't have a proposed agreement yet. As of right now, I don't know if it's going to be on there, but
But you just said that this is just a proposed, so
it's a rough draft.
rough draft. So why would I write questions down on the rough draft? So, because things can change between rough draft and actual. So why would I write questions based on a rough draft that they may change between now and then? That's why I was asking, if this is a rough draft, then why should we even bring questions up? Because some things can change between those two time frames.
Well, definitely, if you have concerns, you should bring those concerns up so they can work with Cal Park to see if they have those issues removed.
Okay, but when I see the real draft, then, I mean, because as you just stated, this is going to be a rough draft, and I see the real draft, they may go along with that, but I'd rather see the real draft, then ask questions at that time after you have a completed draft or a completed resolution that we can actually look at, because I don't want to say, okay, well then we see something else, well, what about that question, what about that? And now we've been back to square one again, so I would like to get a final draft before I can make any kind of comments or any written.
Then you're right to the problem, so what is the final draft?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying, I mean, because that's why I asked, are we gonna be able to discuss this? We can discuss this and then from that point on, do a final draft. But if we keep asking questions and then we get a final draft and things change, and we have another question, what are we gonna do? Go back to the drawing board and say, okay, well, then I'd rather get what they feel is final, what the lawyers feel is final. Base my questions upon that, because if I base my questions on the other one, it's just premature, because it's really not the final. And just like I was told tonight, this is not a final draft, I can be told that then. So I'd rather wait until the final draft, then have questions, and then we can go over. That was just my comment.
All right, well, we have three things that lawyers have from trustee Burgess. If any other trustees have any issues or questions, make sure you get to the attorneys, so they can start working on getting those things removed, or getting further clarification. So when we do sit down, we have clear, something clear before us. All right? Thank you very much. Go to the engineer, Mr. Jim Zernick.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, this year's road resurfacing project is starting tomorrow. We'll start with concrete work, and then we'll go on to asphalt removal and replacement. Also, we're meeting tomorrow to discuss the railroad noise and safety mitigation rebate program. So Robinson's created a draft application package, and we want to get together with the village and get comments on it before we move forward with it. And at this rate, we're looking at as soon as next board meeting to be ready to present that.
All right, I think that committee was trustee Williams and trustee Burgess, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So are both of you going to be here tomorrow?
Well, I don't know what Rosie is working during the day. Right, we just got it done, so we just.
All right, whenever we have two trustees on a committee, on anything, the trustees need to agree. All right, now I know that we have new committees and new commission or new committees. There's chairs, there's co-chairs. We are to work together on these committees so that both of you are present. Right?
That's the matter.
And again, to schedule a meeting, if you're going to schedule a meeting, whoever is the chair, whoever is the co-chair, you are to work together in scheduling those meetings.
The reason why I did that so it wouldn't cause any problems that we would have it up here, I'm sure I can tell Rosie, but if both chairmen or co-chairs are there, it may cause a schedule problem. I mean, if we meet during the day, quite naturally, Rosie may have something to do. In the evening, I may have something to do. And so I'm just stating that I'm sure I can bring Rosie up to speed on that and let her know exactly what we talked about. I don't see where it would be a problem. I thought the reason why you had chair and co-chair, so you would be able to communicate together. So you would be able to.
On that committee, there's not a co-chair and a chair. On that committee, you have two trustees on that committee.
All your committees have co-chair, sir.
I would just, again, trustee, you have another trustee that just said that she wasn't even aware of the meeting. I wondered how you would feel if she scheduled a meeting and you were sitting here at the same time saying, I had no idea.
I wouldn't have said that. I would have, I'm sure Rosie would have told me that she had me, I could tell her I wouldn't be able to make it, but however, like she did, there was a meeting called for the Blue Ribbon. And that was part of her committee. I told her I couldn't meet at that time, but whatever that you discussed, just let me know and I have no problem with what you want me to do. Didn't I? So, I mean, it's not a problem with that. We don't have a problem that way. I mean, if Rosie and I have known each other for years, so I'm not going to sit here and not trust what she's saying, and I'm sure she's not going to do the same thing. But there's going to be a lot of times during this next year or whatever, where both chairmen, as you call it, because on your agenda you just have one person's name there, you don't have co-chair, or you don't have.
This is a different committee. You're talking about the committee for noise mitigation.
Noise mitigation, okay, and that too. I mean, she may not be here during the day, but I would still let her know we're not implementing anything, so we're just going over what we need to do and how we need to move forward with the application process as soon as possible.
I don't have a problem with the meeting tomorrow. If somebody could just take notes and email me kind of beforehand. But just as a reminder, this is the second time that a meeting has been scheduled, that I'm co-second two people on a committee, that a meeting was scheduled and I wasn't aware of. Again, have the meetings, it's fine, but we're all kind of rolling into this process, so I think that it could all behoove us to get together before a meeting is scheduled. So again, I know that it's something that we've talked about. I know that some people asked about it at the last meeting. Where are we this is something the residents want. So I don't have a problem with moving forward and having progress. All I'm saying is in the future, can the two trustees who I share committees with, and we share two committees, I know Derek, we've talked before, so two trustees I share committee with, just let me know. And I am not available until after 5:30. I will not be. So please take that into consideration, and I will do the same with you, with my schedule for our meetings. So just whoever's going to be keeping notes tomorrow, I kind of heard a little bit about who was going to be a part of the meeting, so if I could just have an update email to me, then I would greatly appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, now let the trustees work together, but if you're sitting on a chair, if you're a chair, if you're a co-chair, you are to be working together with each other and making your best opportunity to make sure that both trustees are at these meetings. So that's the reason that these meetings are set up this way.
Point of clarification. Are you saying that both trustees must be present for these meetings?
I'm saying both trustees should at least have the opportunity to know about the meetings and to
Oh, okay.
be at the meetings. And the trustees should agree on the time of the meetings. There should be an agreement there.
There's no problem, but and trustee Williams and I serve on the committee, and she notified me that she wouldn't be present. So that's fine. I'm fine with that. So I don't think, in my opinion, both don't need to be present if you have a chair and co-chair. It's fine if they are, but they don't have to be.
Right, but there needs to be working together. The board members need to work together on timing, make sure that, that each other knows when they're having meetings. Now, I don't want to see in the future that I got a chair having meetings, and then I have a co-chair having separate meetings. We don't want that happening. We want to be able to have one meeting cohesively.
I know that schedule conflicts can arise, that's definitely something that's gonna happen, but it may benefit the two people to meet beforehand if that's gonna happen. That's why we need to have a set schedule of when the meeting is gonna be, so then we can adjust schedule, and if I'm not able to make it, or if you're not able to make it, then we'll know what we're looking for. But like last week, Tuesday, saying we're gonna have a meeting on Thursday, and this is what I'm gonna present, I didn't have time to look at what you had come up with, I didn't have time to review it, it was presented, and I had no idea, and I'm the co-chair, but my name's not on the committee, so if something's gonna come from the committee, I'd kind of like to know what it means before my name's on it. That's all I'm saying, but again, I think it's something, it's new, we can iron all these things out, it's not a huge deal, we just need to go forward and kind of get that.
All right?
Mayor,
Trustee.
I just want to say that, Trustee Myers and I, we chair and co-chair that we can watch. We've never had a problem. We're there at all the meetings together. We both know everything that's going on with the committee. We both know that the other one cannot make it for whatever reason. The other person is well qualified and well versed on where the committee stands to go and take care of that meeting. And sometime a fire break out, he has to go. We'll be sitting right there in the fire spot when he says, I gotta go. We all know where he's going, but we'll let him know what's going on. You may be cheering with somebody that may feel like either A, to bring you up to speed, they may be imposing on you, especially if the committee changes, if you're working on projects, to keep notifying you and updating you on what's going on, to keep contacting you, whereas you may be trying to be a help to the committee, and they may not really want your help or want to know what you want to do, what you got going on. So I'm glad that you did clarify today, because I don't want to be nowhere where my services are not needed, because I am extremely busy. And since you set it up this way, I co-chair not only with Trustee Myers with Neighborhood Watch, but now also with Trustee Jones with Neighborhood Watch. So I'm in the community, Trustee Jones with Public Parks and Recs. So I'm in the community trying to get people for the parade, but I don't have any information to give them. I'm trying to give them applications, because if somebody's going to do the parade, they got to let their workers know, they got to get a baby, so they need time. So I don't want people to feel, or Trustee Jones or Trustee Myers to feel as a co, and we all co-committees, that when you're calling for information that you want to take over the committee, you're trying to do something that they don't know about, you're just trying to help to disseminate the information in a timely manner. So I'm glad that we are able to get your clarification on what you expect from the chairs and the co-chairs, that you want us working together, that if the committee, for whatever reason, one of us have to leave, the other person can just step in and it can continue to flow. That's what I think of what you're saying.
All right. Thank you, Trustee. Move to Village Administrator, Director of Public Safety, J.W. Fairman Jr.
Mr. Mayor, Board of Trustees, a couple of items I have a report on. We met with the village engineer, Mr. Zarnak, and we went over the possibility of how they were going to pursue grants with us. And he had a couple of grant writers over there, and basically, he said that these grant writers will find different grants that the village may qualify for, and then they will categorize those grants in terms of whether or not we got a good possibility of giving those grants, at which time we'll select those grants and bring it to the mayor and the board of trustees. So we're hoping that we can be successful in that process. We also have department head meetings between the fire, the police, and the public works, and to encourage interdepartmental corporate collaboration and begin a 2016 budget process. What we're going to try to do is, eventually be able to know what our monthly expenditures are, and then we'll be able to give you specifically what we think needs to be spent and allocated to those different departments next year. Also, we have the application for police chief ends on June 15th. So far, we have 19 applications, but June 15th, for the chief of police position. And after that point in time, the resume committee will review applications on, we haven't determined a date, Trustee Williams and Trustee Tate. You guys will be the ones, I would hope that would say when you guys could be there, go over these committees so we screen out who we would like to have interviewed. We will have some proposed questions, but we're looking at various different venues to give a variety of questions specific to the job. Also, I met with police, specifically Deputy Chief Salisbury and Kevin, he's not here, it's Kevin Weller, hi, Kevin Weller. What we're trying to do, we're working on an auction to dispose of village property that's not useful. We still have to work with Chief Stockerton to make sure that he has vehicles, and also ESDA, so make sure that we get rid of property and can get some funds for that and hopefully spend it wisely. Other than that concludes my presentation. Sorry, I do have one final thing. I am going to present to you, Mr. Mayor, a proposal that Kevin's been working on to actually improve the sound in here. And he has some specific proposal that he has given me today. And we'll hopefully won't have these questions about, people asking questions about, they can't hear each other. That is my report.
All right, thank you. Move to reports of trustees and board committees, beautification committee.
Could we have a question, Mr. Fairman?
Sure.
Who all serves on the resume committee? I know Trustee Williams and I are on there. Who else?
The three-person committee would be myself and you and Trustee Williams, and then my assistant will be there to take notes so that we can make sure we understand and don't have to rely on memory as to what we actually agreed to. Or actually, if we don't agree, you have different numbers about who should go in and who shouldn't. That's what it's for, okay? If you have any questions or want to change it anyway, let's let me know.
All right. Thank you very much.
And just to make sure that we're clear, the applications are going through the committee first. I'm going for the committee to present 3 to 5 applicants after they've gone through all their interviews. And then I will go through the interview process, and then I will be presenting to the board. And then again, the police chief is an appointment by the mayor with consent and approval of the village board. So we've got multiple layers for this to go through.
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee.
a question about the questions, since Mr. Fairman brought it up. While you were away, there were different questions that was asked to our village administrator, Mr. Fairman. And I just wanted to know, I don't know if this is the appropriate place to ask it or not, if you're not here, and I know he oversees the daily operations of the village and reports to the mayor and to the board and all of that. However, if you're not here and one of the trustees or even one of the residents want to ask him a question, is he at liberty to answer that question? If it's something pertaining to something that he was directed to do by you, the mayor, or either the trustees, can he answer those questions without you being present, or is he not privy to answer the questions that we ask him?
I think the village administrator meets with people daily. And again, I work a full-time job, so he's meeting with people. So, again, I don't know exactly what you're asking, but I don't speak for him. He speaks for himself. I guess if there's a question that he has, or if there's something that I give him direction, he may tell you to talk to the mayor, which I have no problem with that because he didn't give the direction, I did.
Okay, that's what I wanna know. If people wanna ask him questions, and if he feel that he can't answer the question until he talks to you, then he has a right to let people know, see the mayor, or does he have to answer any questions that's asked to him?
No, if I give a direction, I mean, it's just the same thing, like, how's he gonna answer something if you do something on, your neighborhood watch, and you give directions to your neighborhood watch? He's not gonna be able to answer for you. And probably his best response would be talk to the mayor, on that one. Again, if he knows the answer, it's up to him if he wants to answer it.
I just want to hear, because that came up the 2 weeks you weren't here. People was asking him questions from the audience, and, you know, some of the trustees had concerns and questions about different things going on within the village, and he didn't feel comfortable answering it because he had gotten direction from you. So I had asked that meeting, but they waited until you got back, but they were determined and saying that he's supposed to answer to the trustees and to you. So if we could all be on the same page to know what to ask and what not to ask, that's why I was asking for that.
Well, I think it's
So it is his call, that's what you're basically saying.
I think it's very wrong to expect someone to answer something or speak for someone else, especially if they're not present.
Okay, thank you.
Point of clarification. I know I asked 2 of the department head questions, and they were answered. Mr. Behrman was here, and also Mr. Mohan, and they responded to the questions. They can be department heads, managers, whatever title you want to give them. I do not think Mr. Mohan or Mr. Behrman know the department better than those 5 people sitting over there. And if I ask a question, they're the experts. I don't expect administration to know the answer. But in the week, that's what happened, which leads to Ms. Trustee Washington's question. Mr. Behrman was asked a question about which his name appeared on the document as a source. That's the question that he was asked. And he said he didn't feel comfortable answering for you. If the question is about what my involvement is, I think I certainly should be able to answer that question. I should not need the mayor's consent. If I was involved in it. And that was the situation that I think Trustee Washington is kind of referring to that came up during your absence. So if a person is involved in the situation, I see nothing wrong with a trustee asking them the extent of their involvement and then responding to it.
Well, again, I think if you have something, again, sitting in a municipality, I don't know what the questions was, and I don't think we need to rehash them tonight. We can sit down and talk about the questions. But there's certain things that may deal with personnel, where you don't bring out personnel issues or anything that deals with personnel in an open meeting. If you have a question, you can go directly to, especially the village administrator, and ask him personally if you have some questions. But again, I don't know, I haven't watched the videos, I haven't done anything.
We didn't rehash, but what Mr. Behrman never said was a personnel issue, which we understand could have been taken in executive session, if in fact it was a personnel issue. He never said that. He said he couldn't speak for the mayor.
Well, definitely, I know it's not going to speak for me.
Okay. So you're saying even though he was actively involved, that he does not have to respond?
He should speak for me, just like I should speak for you.
This is my question. If he was actively involved, he does not have to respond because he's involved.
Again, I don't know exactly what you're talking about, so.
Well, it's all in the minutes, and you can review those later.
Right. And again, you talk about it.
Mr. Mayor, I'm the one that asked the question, and I just want to be direct. The question was asked by myself to Mr. Fairman, whose name appeared on the invoice along with yours. All I asked him was why we had a sweep in the village, who authorized it, and who authorized for us to go with a $12,000 retainer without coming before the board. That's what I asked him. So we need to go into executive session. If someone tells me it's personnel, it wasn't told at the meeting that it was a personnel question. It was told that I'm not going to answer that question because I'm not going to answer for the mayor. But if your name appeared on that invoice, I would think that you'd have something to do with it because it said on that invoice that you okayed that, Mr. Fairman and yourself. So I would like to, at this point in time, since it's been a while, can we have executive session, since it is a personnel, can we have executive session tonight in regards to that, because I would like to find out what's going on. Also, why it was even brought
up without the village boards, I'm sorry, without me finding out about it. I don't know about any other trustee, but how come that actually happened and how that agreement was made with that company without respect to letting the board know about it? So I would like to have an executive session, call an executive session today after the meeting or before the meeting is over. I'd like to call for an executive session.
Executive session is already on the agenda, but I
Okay.
think, when we call for it, there's two reasons. It's for personnel and for threatening pending litigation.
Okay, well, but I would still like to have an executive session for today and deal with that because that's something that I've asked and it was never brought to this board fully. We never voted on it. We never talked about it. But it was, the actual invoice was enacted. $5,400 was actually paid out and, you know, it was an immediate check. And we never, it was on the accounts payable, but it was never told to this board that that was happening.
All right. So personnel and threatening pending litigation. All right, move to beautification committee. Beautification committee is hosting an annual yard sale on June 13, 2015. It will be from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Setup for vendors will be at 7 a.m. There's still spots available if you're looking. The committee will be selling hot dogs, chips, water, custard from Culver's. The rain date, if it rains on Saturday, will be June 20th. But we're hoping for clear skies on Saturday. They're having a meeting tomorrow, June 10th, a special meeting at June 10th at 1:30 here at the Village Hall to finalize the event. And the next meeting is June 17th at 7 p.m. at the Village Hall. And again, the beautification committee is always looking for volunteers and new committee members.
Mr. Mayor, location?
Oh, great question. It is across from Do It Best, inside the green grass area, right there on Sauk Trail. So, yeah, it's where it is every year. Okay. All right, move to Parks and Rec Committee, Trustee Jones.
First of all, I have a cost savings. I purchased my own business cards because it's been over a month and I haven't received them. It's been over a month, I haven't received a commission card neither, or my badge. But, and also I want to be pointing the right direction concerning some type of lockbox or something once the 911 operators leave. We need to figure out how on the weekends that we could rent out the community center. As of now, you go over to the 911 and the dispatchers, you pick up the key. But once there's no one there, we're gonna have to have some type of system. So I want some type of direction on who I need to get with in order to resolve that situation before the clock runs out. And basketball. Mr. Sullivan is gonna come up real quick. Got some great news.
Let's go.
No, he gonna open us up.
We're not gonna have baseball this year. We didn't have the kids to sign up because we didn't have the parents to sign them up with. So what we're gonna be doing is having summer basketball. And this here is the banner that we're gonna be having out there in front of the business to sign up these kids for basketball for summer and for fall as well. Now, we need the parents' help as well as the kids. I mean, the parents have to be there to sign these kids up. And if we don't get the cooperation of the parents, we won't have a basketball program. So it's up to the parents itself to do something. Is there any questions?
Let it take a picture. Let's just. Oh.
You're getting your heads.
And we have permission to put it out in front of the, what is that, Tire Max at Glasgow, and they give us permission to put it out there.
That's where it's gonna be at, registration at
Yeah. The registration is going to be at the community center.
Okay.
But the phone number, that's my phone.
You want to give the age?
Age between 7 and 15 years old, boys and girls.
Co-ed.
Co-ed, yes.
Cost?
Cost?
Well, that's a tricky thing. We have a retainer fee of $70. Then we're going to have a candy fund. The candy fund is the kids get 30 candy bars to sell. And after selling the candy bars, they keep that $30. So that brings the registration down to $40. So it would be $40 for each player to play basketball.
That $40 that'll take care of all the supplies that they need.
The $40 will take care of the uniforms, the referees, the trophies, the banquet at the end of the year. And at the banquet now, the kids get in free, but the parents have to pay $20 a person to go to the banquet. So right there will offset the cost of it. And on top of all that, it isn't costing the village anything. Nothing at all. We pay for it for ourselves. So we won't have any politics in it. Thank you. Is there any questions? No.
How about, one last question, insurance coverage?
We have the insurance over the village.
You doing the blanket?
They do the blanket.
Okay.
That's all covered. And as far as on the managers and the coaches, we have a background check. So they will have background checks on whoever's going to be working with the kids. And then we're going to work to the police.
Yes, and please get them in as soon as possible because they're,
It takes time.
yeah, it's time.
So we'll get them on.
Not going back, they were prints that were running like early, end of April, so it's taking a while. to get them.
It'll be different this time.
I hope so. All right.
Question?
Right here, trustee.
Behind you, so.
Okay.
What is the cost for the background check and who pays it?
Well, I don't know that. I don't know who, I have no idea if the village pays for it or the individual. I think the village pays for it, doesn't it?
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Trustees on
I don't know what the
top of
cost
that, right?
is. I don't know how much it's gonna cost. So, I mean, as a trustee, maybe you know more about it than I do.
Yeah,
I know a lot less than you do about this.
Okay.
but since we're doing it in Sauk Village, doing the background checks for Sauk Village, I think we'll try and make the cost.
Yes, sir.
Well, on top of that, if it doesn't cost the village any money, and the money that you get for the part of annual sale, and also we're gonna be having sponsors. We don't have any problems having sponsors, because the last time I had sponsors, I got them. And that will be paying for that, so if it costs the village a certain amount of money, if the basketball program has the money, we'll reimburse the village. And it won't cost the village any money at all.
There's a fees associated with applicants, like somebody wanted a job for DCFS or school, there's fees associated with those. We do not, there's no fees associated for us to do our backgrounds for our own employees or our volunteers that are gonna work with our employees.
Great.
On top of that, too, on the background check, I have everybody that's gonna be working, I had a background check. Because I want myself to be protected. I want my kids. Huh?
Did you pass it?
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan.
Any more questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay,
It'll
thank
be
you.
successful. And then, that ends my report.
All right, just I have one follow-up on business card sharing. I thought we ordered those, but
I just was speaking to Trustee Tate's. I called the business card company, Minuteman Plus, to find out where your business cards have been. I ordered Trustee Burgess, Mr. Jones, and Trustee Tate's, and the village manager's cards, and it's been about 3 weeks. I ordered them about a week after they were sworn in, and I haven't got them yet. I left a message with the company and haven't heard back from them. I think that was yesterday I left them a message.
We may need to switch companies. I was able to get them in about 20 minutes.
all right. And then on the badge and stuff, that's my problem. So I'll get you the badge. I do apologize. Do you have your badge?
Yes, I do. Yes, I have a commission card.
How do you get yours?
I know you.
Oh.
I know you taking care of.
Yeah, well, the village clerk will make sure she gets your commission cards. Let me double check, I may have another badge. In fact, before you leave tonight, step by my desk. Again, I do
One thing I
apologize.
don't take is all commission cards, just so you know.
Yep. All righty.
Can you cancel, I heard Mr. Jones say earlier, this cost saving initiative, y'all can purchase these cards?
I can't cancel it now. He said this just came today, so I'm thinking that, it's too late to cancel.
But since they hadn't provided, I thought you could just cancel it.
They have the print of the village logo, so we've always used them. They were a little slow this last time with the mayor's business cards too. I don't know what whole groups.
Trustee Tate, we waited until the three of you guys got, so we sent them in all together, mine and Trustee Jones and yours, so that it was costless. And as far as the badges, mine just came in today.
All righty, move to, you're done.
Yes.
Your report.
I didn't know.
All right, Budget and Finance Committee, Trustee Tates.
Mr. Mayor, the Budget and Finance Committee had their first meeting on the 4th of this month. The members present decided that the Budget and Finance will meet every third Wednesday at 6 p.m. That's the time that worked for all the members that were present at the meeting. Several things were asked, and when I sent out the minutes, I'm going to make sure that Mr. Mohan received some, because there's some requests specific to him and some financial issues. But one thing that I want to do, and we talked about this, is getting all the department heads involved in the proposed policies that we drafted and amended already, because it's going to affect you. So we need to let you see it, massage it, do whatever you need to do to make sure it works for you. We don't want to develop a policy in the blind without having you guys input to it. So we want to make that happen. And matter of fact, I would really like for the department heads, if you could make an arrangement to come in to speak to the committee for 15 minutes, tell them what you do, how your budget works, how you maintain your records. I think that will help them better understand, so that when they start thinking about policy, they understand how public works, how you operate. They begin to understand the fire chief, how you maintain your records. And I think that this helps in the long run, rather than us putting out a document that makes no sense to anyone except us. So, as I said, I would love for you to come to speak to the committee and just talk to them, give them a quick overview, and I think that'll go a long way. Again, third Thursday, 6 p.m. Third Thursday, I stand correct. Third Thursday, TH, 6 p.m.
Right, Trustee, I think we definitely need to sit down and talk to you, and you know who's on your committee, especially since it's budget and finance. I know when we talked before, I don't know, we have your committee, number one. Number two, it's supposed to be set up like the school board. We talked about that, how you're supposed to have two trustees, village administrator, and the finance director. They're supposed to be sitting in your know we talked about that, so, again, when you're dealing with the finances of the village, and again, I'll double check with the attorneys, there can't be any, residents or anything on there, because you're dealing with personnel, you're dealing with, things like that, so, it should be set up, just like we talked about, just like the school board, and I don't know who's on your committee.
We're not dealing with personnel issues.
Let's see, your committee reviews and make recommendations on all matters related to revenue, expenditures, budget appropriations, and financial.
Personnel issues.
So that personnel when it comes to salaries and things like that.
We're not talking about salary. I'm talking about you spending $12,000 for a milk jug. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about the expenditure of funds without that proposal going to this board for approval. That's what we're talking about. I care less who spends that money. It doesn't matter. It's whether or not it was spent properly. We have an obligation to the residents of Sauk Village to maintain and monitor the use of their money. And we don't care who spends it.
We can sit down and talk about this because.
Well, don't forget, Mr. Mayor, not to cut you off, but I asked you when you come in to give me some guidance on what you wanted.
Yeah, you did.
No, sir.
Yes, sir, I did. I said it's supposed to be set up just like the school board.
Yeah.
And I said the school board has the superintendent of schools, which we have the village.
Absolutely not. When I formed the finance committee for the school board, we did not have a superintendent of the school board, finance committee. I formed that committee, I know. That's all I have for budget finance.
All right. Move to Public Safety Ordinance Review Committee, Trustee Myers.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple items. First of all, I will have a meeting here at the Safety and Ordinance Review Committee Thursday night, 7 p.m. here. Department heads, any comments that you have going to the Insurance Safety Committee, the Village Safety Committee that the insurance company is over? I would like to have a copy of that information where I can relate that to my committee. The committee is going to take a whole new turn. We are been asked to add the Public Safety and the Ordinance Review Committee together, so therefore we'll be visiting the different department heads, either my co-chair and myself, or my co-chairman and one of the employee members of the committee will be visiting each one of the departments out. And I think each one of our departments in the village already has a safety committee. I would like to be able to look at a couple of minutes from your department safety committee meeting. With that, Mr. Mayor, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee. Move to Public Works and Michigan Water Committee, Trustee Burgess.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Couple of things. We met. We also have IGRC. We met this past Thursday last week, and we formed and talked about a new name so it wouldn't be so lengthy. And we looked at naming it Public Services Committee, Public Service Committee. And at that time, we had a lot of questions. A lot of people wanted to know a lot of things. A lot of people did not know exactly how the water department works, how a lot of things in the village works. So I also talked to Kevin, and I gave him some of the things that the people asked for, and he's going to get back to me with that. But I just wanted to make this statement. I was appointed as chairperson of the Public Works and Lake Michigan Water Committee on May 9th, a new committee that has never been established. As a result of this appointment, there was no mandate or focus put forth for the committee. Therefore, I've created a mission statement and committee focus. If there's anything anyone feels we need to add, please let me know during our meetings. I will be asking the village board to codify the new committee as standing committees of the village board. Our mission statement, the Public Service Committee goal is to provide essential information regarding the services that are provided by the Village of Sauk Village to the corporate authorities and residents in a prompt, courteous, safe, effective, and cost-effective manner. The Public Service Committee shall strive to plan, design, build, maintain, and operate public infrastructure in a manner that respects the environment and the ability of the government to adequately preserve these assets for succeeding generations. This is something that the residents and the people on my committee wanted to be part of. We're going to set up a time and date to visit the water plant and the different wells 1, 2, and 3, so they can better understand what's going on. And they get asked questions, and there's been a lot of questions about the water this, the water that, and I just wanted to give, I want first of all to be educated by the Public Works, and also we want to work with the Public Works in conjunction to find out what we can do to enhance their operation here in the village. So I will be reaching out to Kevin in Public Works, and I will be informing the board of some of the things that we do in regards to anything. But I just wanted to have it put on the next meeting, to have it voted on that this board is, that this committee is codified by the village. And I do have a list of the committee members, and I will forward that and get that in writing to the village clerk.
First of all, trustee, committees are appointed by the mayor. Secondly, the Public Works and Lake Michigan Committee. Some of the points here is, and you haven't come talk to me either, so in your little statement, it was 2 ways. Those speak both ways.
Mayor,
the Public Works and Lake Michigan Water Committee reviews and makes recommendations on matters relating to capital development, capital improvements, construction, maintenance of public ways, including but not limited to streets, sidewalks, curbs, public parking lots, parkways, sewers, water usage, traffic control, parking, and engineering. And then, again, looking for ways to bring Lake Michigan water to the village of Sauk Village. Again, any trustees that have questions on these committees, again, I make it very clear, committees are appointed by the mayor. So they will state on here the way they were appointed, number one. Number two, if you have questions, I've had 2 trustees come and talk to me, only 2. They talked about their committees that they have. I've talked to Trustee Jones multiple times on questions he's had. If you have questions about your committees, you need to come talk to me.
Okay, but Mr. Mayor, I did call. You left your message. You got back to me the very next day in the morning stating that you were at Village Hall. If I wanted to come up and talk at that time, I could, but you called me you texted me at 9 o'clock that morning and said that you were there. I was not in the village at that time. I left you a message, a voicemail that day before. But what I'm asking is, I did ask you back when you did this to give me a clarification. I asked you in person. I didn't hear anything. The last 2 weeks I haven't heard from you. We didn't even know that you were not going to be here until you were not here. You didn't even tell me or anybody else on the board that you weren't going to be at the last meeting until I found out. We asked Trustee Williams, and she said that you just told her at 6:15, but you were still there that morning, because that morning is when you texted me and told me that you was up at the Village Hall, and if I wanted to come up, I could come up. That was last week. So, I mean, I took it upon myself to try to come up with something. I never heard of, Lake Michigan waterway. That's a dead subject. Something that we already know where we're at right now, how far off that is. But with the Public Works, I thought that it was something to help and to enhance that department. And that's why I came up with this. So now you're saying that with all this that we talked about last week is null and void, that you want this committee to specifically do what, sir? I mean, I thought it was to enhance Public Works and to work along with Public Works in trying to, find out about what they're doing and what we can do to expedite some of the things that they're trying to do in the village, because Public Works is really bogged down because they do a lot of things here. They do Public Works and they do buildings. So, and they also do repairs for the police department. So I'm just, we're just trying to enhance what they're trying to do. We're trying to find out where their shortfalls are and what we can do to make some of the things that they have problems with happen and bring it back. Basically be a fact-finding mission for Public Works to the board in regards to what they may need, and we can basically lobby for them, or something like that. That's why I thought that you created this position. I didn't want to be out there trying to find out the streets and micromanage public works. No, sir. I didn't think that that's what you wanted. I thought maybe you wanted to bring some of the problems that they may have back to the board, and maybe we can find some money to do some things with. That's what I was under the impression.
I think pretty close, because I'll read this one more time. The committee reviews and make recommendations.
You can give me a copy, so you have to read it. I can give you a copy of this. Because I can't write that down that you just got to say. I'm not that good at.
I'll get you copies just for the residents. Just make sure they're clear again. The committee reviews and makes recommendations on all matters relating to capital development, capital improvements, construction, maintenance, public ways, including but not limited to streets, sidewalks, curbs, parking lots, parkways, sewers, water usage, traffic control, parking, and engineering. You are not to micromanage. That's what we have in part of this, departments. This is a committee that makes recommendations.
That's what we're doing, Mr. Mayor. That's all we're doing is making recommendations. Once I find out from the department what they need and what they use, I mean, that's all it was. As far as streets, potholes, and things like that, that's for their department and the department heads and their formers to make those decisions. I was just going to, and that's all this committee was going to do, was find out what they needed to make things happen. That's all that was. But, you know, it's not, I'm not trying to debate back and forth, but this is what we came up with as a committee, and it was pretty well attended last week, and I just, wanted to, because we went back and forth, and we came up with a new name first of all, and also we're still going to have intergovernmental. But on another note, our meetings will be on Wednesday, on the second Wednesday of the month. It won't be this month because we already had one. So from now on, it'll be second Wednesday of the month, and the governmental will be from 6 to 7, and from 7 to 8. Public services will be here in the Village Hall. Again, 6 to 7 and 7 to 8, the second Wednesday of the month.
All right, thank you, Trustee. Move to Neighborhood Watch, Trustee Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I want to say about our meeting yesterday was the beginning of our Neighborhood Watch for our Junior Neighborhood Watch program. We did get a few applications, and I found some in my mailbox that was placed in there today as well. So we're looking forward to working with our youth with our Junior Neighborhood Watch program. I want to say to the Board of Trustees that I did put something in all of your mailboxes about the Junior Neighborhood Watch program. There were different trustees that had questions to what the Junior Neighborhood Watch members were actually going to be doing. I put that in your mailboxes, along with a copy of the letter. If you know any young people on your block that want to be a part of this program, you can give it to them. Also in your mailbox today, I gave you a copy of one of the counties, Durham County. They have a wonderful Junior Neighborhood Watch program there, and they talk about what they do. I just gave a copy to our deputy chief as well. I apologize for getting it to you so late. I just put it in the mailboxes tonight, actually. But we're going to be working this program June, July, August, and their last meeting is going to be in September. So again, I'm asking the Board of Trustees, as well as the residents, if you know any young people on your block that you think would be good on our Junior Neighborhood Watch program, we do have permission slips for them, and I am asking for participation that you at least recommend one young person on your block that's in junior high or high school. Also, in recognition of the parade, I want to say that the Neighborhood Watch will be in the parade for the 4th of July. It's going to be on Saturday. Is that right? Okay, we're going to be lining up at 11 o'clock and stepping off at 1 o'clock. So, any of you that's not in the parade with anybody else, I am asking you to come and get in the parade with Neighborhood Watch. The Neighborhood Watch will be wearing red, white, and blue for the parade. We're wearing red tops, blue jeans, and you can wear any color gym shoes you want to wear. So if you're not with any other organization, I am letting you know you are more than welcome to come and walk or drive your car, and we will be playing the song Happy. Finally, I would like to remind everybody that we have concluded our no bullying, and it's unfortunate that the students feel that to be a part of the no bullying campaign means that if they put their name up in the village hall, if their friends see it, that they can fight them, because that means that they're not going to fight. And I've been talking to young people for the last 2 months. I'm like, that is not what that means. No, trustee Washington, you don't know, 'cause if you put my name up there, then I took the no bullying pledge, that they want to come and fight me in school, that means I can't fight. I'm like, oh my goodness. So we're not going to be putting their names up, but I'm still collecting names of those that want to pledge not to be bullies. And I had to share with the students because they asked me some questions about the adults. I said, you know what, we do have some adults that are bullies as well, and they need to stand the pledge. So if we have any adults here, you know you're a bully, and you want to stop bullying people and stand the pledge, I'll take pledges from you too. And that concludes my report.
Trustee Washington, could you email me the application for the junior watch so I can utilize it, please?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee.
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee.
what is the village's liability having these young people out here being part of the neighborhood watch?
Go ahead, it's a neighborhood.
Well, it says our questions go to the mayor, so, but let you speak for it, that's fine.
Not speaking for me, she's speaking for the mayor.
I'm not speaking for the mayor. I'm answering the question because it is my committee. He can speak about the liability, but the children are not going to be doing anything on their own. They're going to be walking with block club captains, literally writing down vacant home addresses. So if there's a liability for them in any kind of way, that's what they'll be doing. Because he can't answer your question until he knows what they're going to be doing. And that's what they're doing.
Then have him to change the agenda where it says all questions are directed to the mayor.
That's just for
Now you
residents.
answer the question.
That's just for residents to ask questions.
They're not going to be carrying guns, they're not going
What's
to
the
be
village's
carrying
liability?
sticks, and they're not going to be fighting thugs.
This is not what you're
The attorney's going to check on both liabilities for the basketball.
They're going to be walking.
And since the freight has been mentioned, is the police department, fire department, and as the public works, have you been notified? Can we make tonight your notification? And if there's anything special you need for that day, if you could make sure that the village administrator knows what you need for that day. But I'm sure there's been public works, there's really work for you to do, the police, and the police presence, that's the good job, making sure traffic control, and the fire department. We'd also like to make sure that we have vehicles from all the departments.
Parade and fireworks.
The fireworks is going to be Friday night, parade is Saturday. First, the board has to vote on it, to make the things on the agenda, right? No? Well, you talked about it last week. Okay. Yes, you could. So, but again, to make the budget amounts, it had to be done on the night before they would have doubled the price for the fireworks. Archie?
Mayor, who's going to be in charge of the fireworks?
Mad Bomber?
No, I understand that. The chairperson, you have a chairperson who's on the board for it.
You know, let's sit down and talk about that, make sure everything's in line, because I know definitely for the fireworks, you're gonna make sure you need the fire department. Probably that's the problem.
And I know Ed's involved in it, so
Right.
we just can't wait till last month.
Let's make sure we sit down and talk, and if you need anything from me, Jesse?
First, we're gonna need the company you have, need to contact the company and get all their insurance stuff from State Farm. After the meeting, I will go over everything. There's about a page and a half of stuff that you have to supply us before we can get your license and prepare. Mike, thank you.
Make sure the village administrator's there, so you can know for you.
In case you know the State Farm Marshal.
Yeah. All right. Community and Public Relations, Trustee Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We did meet 2 weeks ago to help out with the Blue Ribbon Walk. So I'd like to say thank you to everybody who participated in the making of the ribbons as well as the physical walk. And at that time, I did have members from the Public Relations Committee as well as the Community Outreach Partnership Committee. And we discussed combining due to the need for volunteers, also due to the 3 different names that we have. So, like Trustee Burgess, we are trying to come with a shorter, more concise name so we can kind of fall under everybody's umbrella. I think that the main goal for everybody on that committee, on both committees, is to serve the village. So it doesn't matter what we're named, we're still going to be doing the same things that we normally do. So I just wanted to let everybody know that. And then we are looking to meet next week, Wednesday.
That should be before 7.
Yeah, yeah, 5:30. That was one of the things I talked about later here, so got it out of the way.
Could you just let me know when you're going to start working on the issues for neighborhood watch, which meetings, so.
National Night Out.
Or, I'm sorry, National Night Out.
Absolutely. We will be discussing that this next week to kind of get, that's part of the agenda because August is just around the corner. So that was part of the agenda. We were going to talk about a rough draft. I don't know if you still want to be there or if you want to go to the following month, but then you're looking already into July. So if you can't make that meeting, I will definitely give you all.
That's the 17th?
Yes.
Okay. And what time is it?
5:30. And if you're unable to make it, like I said, just let me know, and then I can give you all the information that we discussed, and then you and I can meet, or we come to the next meeting that we have. We're trying to find a regular time.
How late do the meetings go? Just I have class.
Usually only an hour, but that was with 2 different committees,
Okay.
so I don't know.
We'll make it work.
Okay.
We'll meet.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Trustee. To the reports of departments, committees, and commissions. Fire Department, 911 Commission, and Chief Stopper.
Thank you, Mayor and Board. Over the past 2 weeks, fire department responded to 30 calls. We had 12 fire alarms, 2 medical assists, smoke in the buildings, 1 structure fire, 2 garbage fires, a child's fingers stuck in a car seat. We had 1 assist to other agencies. We also had a structure fire out of town we went out and helped them out with. Had some kids trapped in a home. They just moved in and they got up into one of the bedrooms up there and they couldn't get back out of the door and nobody else was around and they didn't know the address. We had a lot of fun in that. Everything worked out fine. 2 vehicle accidents, 1 wash down, another person locked in a vehicle, a truck fire, and 2 gas leaks. And that ends the report on that. I would like to ask a couple of questions. I presume now, Ed, you're going to be in charge of fireworks detail and getting all that paperwork, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Who is in charge of the parade?
Trustee Jones.
Jones. Are you going to get a letter to me so I can get it posted?
Yeah.
Vehicles?
Every department, you got.
All right, one other thing.
Okay, this trustee's on top of it. Here he comes.
Trustee, one question. You said that meeting was going to be on the 3rd Thursday of the month, right?
That's correct.
Where are we going to have that?
Here in Village Hall. So it's 6 p.m. Don't try to confuse. 6 p.m.
That's my report.
Thank you, Chief. Move to Police Department, Deputy Chief Stopper.
Thank you, Mayor. From May 26th to June 9th, Sauk Police responded with 691 calls for service. During this time frame, the Sauk Police Department conducted 51 adult arrests, 7 juvenile arrests, and wrote a total of 21 various traffic citations. The 7 juvenile arrests include 4 charges of aggravated battery, 1 involving the discharge of a firearm. 1 juvenile was arrested and charged for making a bomb threat to Ricover Junior High School. The 51 adult arrests includes 5 were in-state warrants, 1 out-of-state warrant, 3 endangering the life of a child, 2 public indecency, sexual penetration charges, 2 residential burglary arrests, 1 resisting, and 1 stalking. The traffic citations included 1 DUI, 2 driving while suspended or revoked, and 2 citations issued for going around the school bus. Mr. Fairman had mentioned there were some specific problems with that. The Sauk Village Police Department conducted a second prostitution sting, which resulted in 14 individuals charged with prostitution, including 1 15-year-old runaway who was turned over to the custody of the Illinois Department of Children and Family Services. Since then, we have learned that the juvenile has run away from the custody of DCFS and is believed to be back on the streets. 5 individuals were arrested and charged with pimping. 1 individual was charged with resisting arrest. 1 individual was charged with prostituting, was also charged with endangering the life and health of a child for bringing her 6-year-old niece with her. 1 individual had an active felony warrant out of Marion County for arson. That's the arrest for the last 2 weeks. I'd like to take this time to thank Plan, Trustee Derek Burgess, Trustee Tate, Village Clerk Debbie Williams, Citizen Frank Williams, and Ms. Klopp, and everybody else who came out and supported the Sauk Village Police Department with the 2015 Cop on Top. We endured low traffic and bad weather, but we still managed to collect over $1,500 from Special Olympics. I'd like to thank Sergeant Mizak and Investigator Rob Grossman, who ran their 4 miles this morning for the torch run for the Sauk Village portion for the Special Olympics. That happened this morning at 6:30. I'd also like to thank the Investigation Division. Everybody recalls in April 2nd of 2008, the Sauk Village Police Department conducted the Brave Griffin homicide case. Timothy Easley was eventually charged in that case, took a while to bring charges due to lab results back. There was a jury trial, and after the jury trial, Mr. Easley was sentenced, a judge chief, to 75 years in prison for the sexual assault and murder of young Richet, who was a Sauk Village resident. That concludes my report. Debbie, I gave you a copy of the report that you requested. I put it up there for you, and on the bottom of the first 2 pages, I put, there's a free woman's self-defense class. If you could put that on the class, if anybody's interested. You do have to be over the age of 13. It's going to be held at the Polaris Martial Arts School in Crete. You are required to contact the school to sign up if you're interested, or if you know anybody who's interested in attending this free class.
But thank you for the report, I really appreciate it. But I think, was I supposed to get this too?
Yeah, that's all the backup information, that's all the rest. There's no names or anything in there, it's just, that's all the calls.
I don't certainly get this, but I appreciate it.
Oh, you just want this?
This. Okay, thank you.
Oh, Christine.
Any other questions?
Yes, sir, that is my report.
All right, Public Works Department, Kevin Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a few items. We're definitely still working on the street lights. We do have a few residents called in recently. We have a few power lines down since the windstorms we've had, the rain conditions. Some of the trees are battling the wires. So we'll be working on those along with the replacement of light heads. A couple of the light heads, if you happen to notice around town, there's some new ones up. We have a power issue over on Constance and Peterson, and that light might flash. It's like a strobing effect every once in a while. It may come out all the way, but we do have a power issue on that pole, so if you do see some of those lights, we are working on them. But first things first, we have to replace all the heads first. Recently, we replaced 20 of the heads. We also had an accident on Torrance Avenue, 22132 Torrance Avenue, where somebody ran down a light pole. So we'll be getting that information out, getting the insurance company a bill out to them so we can get our light replaced. It may take 4 to 6 weeks, because it takes a little while to order the poles. Our branch pickup for the year, the spring pickup is completed. We went through the whole town. It took us the whole month here due to the weather conditions and a little bit of storm damage. But we do have everything picked up. Anything that is currently out there has to be removed by the resident, or code enforcement might go around and give you a ticket for having them out. So, any storm event we do have with high winds or anything, we'll definitely post a date to pick up branches if we do have any come down. It's usually the week after the event. We'll go around the town, place them out the parkway, and we'll come by hopefully within a week or so and pick them all up. And that's during a storm event. Normal day-to-day operations, we just get a lot of calls from residents. We handle them as we can. We shift them to our jobs that we're currently doing. We do get calls every day from residents for different things. Some of the things that we're dealing with on a regular basis, and some are some new things, and we will schedule them as soon as we can. The building here, we have a little issue with the hot water in this building right now. We have a circulation pump that went out. It's been on back order. It should be here tomorrow. That'll take care of the hot water in the building here. The police department, we had the warranty company out that did the roof work over there. We had some leaks on the roof. They came out, found a couple of little spots on the roof. One was a hole, looks like it was punctured possibly when they put one of the heat and air units on there. And the other one was the oldest unit on the roof, which probably should just be removed. These seams on it were re-caulked and sealed. So right now, we're waiting for the storm event we just had, and we'll keep an eye on the tiles, and if everything is dry, we'll replace all the bad tiles in the police department. Community center, we do have a leak over there too, inside the rental side. Similar situation, we had the roofer out last year. We need some events to try to find out the problem again. I'm calling them back out again. They will come out and verify if there's any other spots that they can take care of. The roof is old, it does need to be replaced. And also with the fire department's roof, probably the oldest in the village right now. Potholes, we're definitely starting to get potholes around town. Now that our branch pickup is done, and we're starting to catch up a little bit on the village locations for grass cutting, we'll definitely have some crews out in pothole locations. They will go section by section and do every street and patch every single hole that they can find on every street. It will take a little time, and it won't be on a daily basis, but we will be out to take care of that. And as the engineers reported, we do have our street program starting. This year we have, I believe it's 6 streets that we're dealing with this year. They're starting on the first 2, so that should go along. We should have a lot of nice streets by the end of the project. Water, we do day-to-day emergency calls. We do our customer service calls. We also had 2 water main breaks in the last 2 weeks. We had one over here at SC Car Wash in the parking lot, which is our water main that crosses the lot. And we had one at 1816 to 22nd Street this morning, and they're both been taken care of. It didn't affect any residents. If it did, you might have a little rusty water complaint, but very little of that should happen. Just running cold water, no hot water, and it should flush out pretty fast. Garbage around town, we're still cutting field edges, we're still picking up papers. A lot of the storm event we had over this weekend, the rainfall itself, was due to garbage on the manhole covers and a lot of grass clippings. So if a resident has a manhole in front of their house that's a low street area, we ask that they help us out a little bit, because if it's going to rain hard, you might want to go out there and check that manhole, put some papers up, and if it's too much and you stack it in a bag or anything like that, and you leave it there, you can call in the morning to the village hall, and we'll send somebody to pick it up. We do send somebody out, a crew out after each storm, and they go over every manhole, and they do remove all the debris. But each storm event, it will flow back down to those locations. So please help us out. Grass cutting, we are definitely catching up a little on village-owned locations, and we are entering into some of the detention locations. But with the storm again, now we have a lot more water, so we're going to be slowed down a little bit. But we have cut Carlisle, States, Carroll, and some in Deer Creek at this time. The hydrant flushing we had the other last week was the east side of town. No problems, everything went well. The hydrants flushed for about 3 minutes, cleared up very nicely. Street sweeper, June 8th, it will be out, it's completed. With the streets, with all the debris on the streets from the trees and the grass, everything will take a little longer, probably take a week and a half to finish up. Again, though, please help us keep the garbage out the streets, pick it up, it saves us time, we can do other jobs. That concludes my report.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Mr. Kevin came up with a great idea we were trying to do, and I would like for him to state what we're trying to do with respect to calling people when there's emergencies or cutoffs.
Yeah, in an emergency situation, I know that some school districts have an automated system that gives all residents in a location a call or a phone call to a cell system. I'm not quite sure how that system is set up, but I know that a lot of them use it for emergencies due to water main breaks in an area or storms or any event that we're just having. It's just a phone call out to that phone number. You don't, but it could affect everyone in the zip code software.
So we will be pursuing that, Mr. Mayor and trustees, to see how much it costs and trying to implement it. It was his idea, I want to point that out.
That's robocalling. We do it through my school system as well. We have school board members here tonight. If there's early day dismissal, anything that's going on, because you have it in the database, we call everybody in the database. So if the village hall have everybody's phone number in the village, then they can get those robocalls to their homes. I get them right now from Chicago Heights, from Mayor David Gonzalez. If the roads are cut off, I get that from them, that the roads are going to be cut off. I get robocalling from them. And I would also ask Kevin a question real quick. Have you seen those lights that go around, like the name of the street signs in other villages and cities, how they have those lights that go around the street signs? We brought that up at the neighborhood watch meeting yesterday. In your leisure, I know you don't have any. But if you could get us a price, like how much those lights cost, like on main streets, the street sign, like the name of the street, the lights that go around it, to let us know like how much those cost. Thank you.
Richard Park.
We've already contacted Cook County since Sauk is a county street. If you notice going through Richardson Park and going further up through Frankfurt, they've already come down through there, and I think they stopped right about Chicago Heights area. So we've reached out to Cook County to find out if they're going to continue. As of right now, it's been placed on hold. However, as they do road improvements, especially down Sauk Trail, they're looking at adding those street signs into those areas that are doing road improvements.
Also, sometimes.
I got a question for Kevin. It was brought to my attention that the court in the basketball, that it needs to either be stripped or waxed or something, and it's getting real slippery for them to play.
The inside gym one?
Yes.
The problem with that is we had this problem a few years back, we never had in the past. If the humidity of the air, you got a constant change in temperature, if you have the doors open, if you don't turn the air on at the right time, you get a little moisture in the air. And this has only happened in the last couple of years, we never had a problem before. The building being closed up as much as possible, the air running when it's supposed to be running, and not opening the doors for, I know like kids like to open the doors sometimes to get the air run outside real fast. They're constantly doing that, or a lot of in and out traffic will bring the moisture in. So you'll get the condensation, it makes the floor, it doesn't make it damp, but it makes it slippery. So in the past, there should be a couple big fans in the building, they use them on the floors, but leaving the doors closed and not having a lot of in and out traffic, unneeded in and out traffic, solve the problem rather than the fans. Because they're very loud, not to mention they're blowing around. So I'll take a look at it, and we'll check on the thermostat to make sure it's set where it needs to be, and have access to change that if you need to.
Okay. Mr. Wow. Give me a couple of weeks, but I had information, there were 3 companies 2 years ago that were giving grants for these fancy street signs. I'll see if I can find that information, and perhaps they still will give a grant for it, and that may help out a little bit. But give me a couple of weeks to try to track that information down. It's somewhere. Okay.
That's great.
All right. Move to Administrative Services Director, Director Sherry Jasinski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Board of Trustees. Just in brief, we wrote 135 grass tickets within 30 days. Sue was off last week due to her mother's death, so it put us behind schedule. So she's back at writing tickets for grass, and she's going around to all the vacant houses, and the ones that have owners, we have been issuing tickets. It's going to be like this probably the whole summer. There's a lot of vacant houses that aren't being cut, and we are trying to address them as the best we can. With one person, it's really hard to cover the whole village, so we kind of been doing that garbage fees. Also, I guess last week at a meeting, a resident stated to the trustees that my code officer told residents he was the complainant on several complaints. Under no circumstances do we tell anybody who's complaining. A lot of times the neighbors figure out who it is. I don't even ask the resident their name or phone number. I did provide the village manager a copy of the complainants list with the addresses that there was problems at, and he can verify there is no name on that, no phone number whatsoever. We do not make it a habit of calling and telling any resident who's complaining on them. We just don't do it. And village stickers, our new vehicles, June 30th, Today, we sold 600 car stickers and 100 truck stickers as of today. So that's up since last year. Hopefully we keep getting them in here to buy the stickers, but they have to be on your vehicle June 30th. July 1st, they are double. Passenger plate will be 60 and truck plates will be 98. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Move to Sauk Village Homeland Security Agency, Damon Goodell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Over the last 2 weeks, ESDA has responded to 14 calls. The ESDA department responded to 1 child trapped in a room, 5 fire alarms, 2 vehicle accidents, 1 CO alarm, 1 with child's finger stuck in the car seat, 1 smoking building, 1 assist other agency, 1 garbage fire, and 1 gas leak. That concludes my report.
Thanks, sir. Go to Human Relations Commission, Commissioner Steve Shimkus.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to invite you all out to our second annual Diversity Dinner Potluck. That's going to be on Friday, July 24th at 6:30 p.m. where you can discuss issues of diversity in your community, along with good food and the company of your fellow citizens. Flyers are in the back and along with the sign-up sheet. And the next scheduled meeting for the Human Relations Commission is on July 6th at 7 p.m. in the Village Hall Conference Room. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. Go to Senior Committee Chairperson Rose Leslie.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Silver Sneaker class is resumed today, July 9th, 10th, 15th. There is no cost to the Silver Sneaker members and only $2 per class for non-members. However, if you take both classes, it costs only $3. Our paper book program has been very successful thanks to our continuous donors. Our cover books are being donated to McCarthy Library to make room for the many paperback book donation. We only accept large print hardcover books. And the Boone Township Annual Picnic is on Thursday, August 6th. Tickets are $3, and they will be available July 1st. The township offers many programs for all youth and seniors. Senior Wheels provide inexpensive transportation within the township and some medical facilities. You can call for information on 708-754-8200 the day before requesting transportation and for scheduling information. And for additional information from Bloom, call 708-754-9400. The Chicago Heights Cafe at 1601 Chicago Road is the closest CNN, which is Community Nutrition Network, to Sauk Village, where you can get affordable meals, partially funded by age option, and they are served Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. The CNN provides meals to seniors 60 years and older. Their cost is $2 donation. It's $2.50 cost at other CNNs. The cafe hours are 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. They play bingo at 10:30. So for additional information, you may call 708-756-5350. That's Tara Passmore. She's the site manager. The 3 senior organizations meeting in the senior center are still welcoming seniors 50 years young and older, and you can see posted calendar for dates and time. McConaughey Library is requesting plastic caps and clean plastic bags for their community garden brunch. You can see posted flyers for detail. The senior committee will be meeting this Thursday, June 11th at 5 p.m. Thank you. This ends my report.
Thank you. To new business. There's no accounts payable tonight. We're going to number B, motion to approve the Crete boundary agreement. Is there a motion to approve?
Mr. Mayor, back to the accounts payable. I know we didn't have anything. Are we paying any bills? Are we paying the payroll, anything like that?
Payroll,
okay, but that should be how much we pay. I mean, that's usually out there, so we can vote understand that, Mr. Mayor, but we need to know how much, especially that in compensation. I mean, we're not
I can pull the payroll if you want me to, trustee.
No, I'm not asking you the whole payroll, Mayor. I'm asking that we should have a copy of what was paid out of payroll, sir. That's all.
The village administrator, the village finance director, when he's back, he's sick. So when he gets back, I'll make sure the trustees know the payroll that he paid.
I mean, I'm sure that, okay, we're going to pay payroll because payroll is due this Friday. So I'm sure there's a number of how much we're paying. If that's all we're paying, we still need to vote that we are paying payroll. We've done this before. You was on the board when we had to just pay payroll, nothing else. We amended everything until we had money. I'm just asking that we should have had a figure that we're going to pay payroll and nothing else, and this is how much we're going to pay. That's all, because right now it looks like we're not paying anything. And if we're not paying anything, so be it, there's no problem, but I'm sure we're paying payroll, and how much that would be, there should have been a number, because payroll has probably already been allocated and it's already out there, so we just need to know, because it's on every accounts payable. It's on every accounts payable, so I'm sure we're going to pay it. I just wanted to know why, at least that could have been on there, someone could have, I asked the financial director yesterday about accounts payable and might be getting one, so we didn't have any money, so I asked him to at least give us an accountability of how much the payroll is going to be so we can have something. So that's what I'm not saying that I'm not paying payroll. I'm just asking that we should have had some type of paperwork stating this is how much payroll is, and we're going to vote that out.
All right, item number B, motion to approve the Creek boundary agreement. Is there a motion to approve? Got a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second, any questions or comments? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call the roll. This is a motion to approve the Creek boundary agreement.
Jones?
Yes.
Myers?
Yes.
Tate?
Yes.
Washington?
Yes.
Williams? Yes. Burgess?
Yes.
Item C, motion to approve special meeting minutes for April 14th. This is the Student Government Day. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and second, any questions or comments? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call the roll.
Myers?
Yes.
Tate? Washington?
Yes.
Williams? Yes. Burgess? Burgess?
Yes.
Jones?
Abstain.
Motion carries. Item 7 is for a motion to recess into executive session for personnel, threat, impeding litigation, and real estate matters. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
Village Clerk, please call.
Question,
Yes.
is this just regarding that one issue that Trustee Burgess asked?
We got some real estate issues we're going to discuss also.
Take the motion here.
For personnel, threat, impeding litigation, and real estate. All right, Village Clerk, please call roll.
Tate?
Yes.
Washington?
Yes.
Williams? Yes. Burgess?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Myers?
Yes.
Let my friend Kelvin go. Let him out. You could.
Ask for a motion to reconvene.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, Village Clerk, please call roll.
Burgess?
Here.
Jones?
Here.
Myers?
Yes.
Tate? Yes. Washington?
Here.
Williams?
All right, move to miscellaneous accounts of the Board of Trustees. Start with Trustee Myers.
No.
Trustee Tate?
A couple of things.
after I was sworn in, Trustee Burgess took the liberty to invite me up to Village Hall to show me around and make sure I got keys and all that good stuff, which is real helpful. But I also want to acknowledge Sherry Jazinski, Mr. Barnecki, I hope I pronounced that right, and Village Clerk Williams, who stopped what they were doing in order to make sure I got the information, most of the information that I needed. So I really appreciate that, and the orientation that Trustee Burgess helped me a lot. So I just want to make that acknowledgement. The second thing is, and she's also doing, as you may know, the Deputy Chief received a grant from the Illinois Liquor Control Commission, and I think that she needs to be commended for applying for that grant and getting that grant. The officers over there are going to benefit from that grant. So I think it's a positive thing in Sauk Village's new history that she did that. One thing that's probably, Mr. Fairman, and I'm not getting in your lane, I can assure you that. When I was up here, there was a village resident outside trying to deal or resolve a water issue. And Ms. Jazinski worked a long time with that resident trying to resolve that issue, which is commendable. But the problem she experienced was that her computer is not the best computer in the world. And matter of fact, you get a prompt that tells you that you're exceeding capacity or about to exceed capacity. I think we have an obligation to serve our residents with the best equipment we possibly can. So they can come in, take 10 minutes and go home or wherever they're going. But they should not have to sit here while we fight with our computers. So the issue may be that she needs a new computer at the workstation if she's dealing with water issues. So I'd like you to, again, you're the mayor, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying that that's an issue that needs to be addressed. I'm coming from a village resident perspective. They should not be inconvenienced because of us. And if she needs a new computer, then I think that, you know, she should certainly get one. My last thing is, for the last 3 years, we've been talking about fire hydrants. I attended a meeting with LG Sims here, and we talked about fire hydrants. And this has been going on for 3 years, at least. And I acknowledge that we didn't have the wrench to open fire hydrants, and we have a wrench now to open fire hydrants. But there have been a couple of fires recently where the fire hydrants were broken. And so the firefighters could not access them. I think I don't know what the village's policy is or what's a good number. Is one injury, is one death acceptable when we cannot properly respond to emergencies? Mr. Mayor, you may not want to, but I think you should prioritize or reprioritize public works. I know they're shorthanded and they're doing a million things. I think you should reprioritize what they're doing and put emphasis on getting these fire hydrants repaired, replaced, or whatever needs to be done. Because sooner or later, someone's going to get killed in one of these fires we have not responded to properly. And that's a real concern, and it's been going on for over 3 years now. And I think fire hydrants need to be moved to the top of the agenda. That's all I have.
Trustee, I'm going to respond to this. First of all, JW, you're going to meet with the chief tomorrow, because I'm supposed to know about all fire hydrants when there's an issue. And since you brought it to my attention, you're the one who knows about it, I want to know why I don't know about it. So I'm going to call him in tomorrow morning. First thing. Second, we have mutual agreements with fire departments that bring in pumpers on every fire that we have. So there's always water available for those. Thirdly, fire hydrants, we're replacing them as we can as the funds come available. We still have grant money that the governor has froze that allows us to buy more fire hydrants. We're waiting for him to release those funds. But as the money has been released, we've been purchasing fire hydrants. This last year, you talk about prioritizing. There's prioritizing that goes back almost 2 years. City of Chicago has got a rule that as long as one fire hydrant per street works, it's good. Okay, so what we did was make sure we had at least one fire hydrant per street working. Then we started looking at where we need to have other fire hydrants repaired. We looked at prioritizing which ones are easy to fix first. And anything they could do with replacing parts and things like that, they started doing that. We approved this last year for them to work weekends. So throughout the week, they could start doing the digs, getting everything prepped, so that on the weekends, on Saturdays and Sundays, they could get in there and they could drop those fire hydrants in and get them replaced even faster. The other thing too is when you look at fire hydrants, just because you say it's broke or they're broken, doesn't mean they didn't break when they tried opening. And you've got, just like with anything with water, those parts and things as they open them could have broke when they opened it. Now, we also have in place that when they go to open a fire hydrant and it's broken, Public Works is called out immediately, right then and there, to come out and verify and find out what needs to be done to that fire hydrant. So you talk about making sure, number one, prioritizing. Prioritizing has been done. Number two, you talk about making sure things are in place. Things are in place, and I am very irritated right now to find out that you know about broken fire hydrants and I don't. And I will go find out why. Because it is very clear to that department head to make sure, I don't care what time in the morning, what time at night, or what time during the day, if there's a problem, they're supposed to call me. Especially with fire hydrants. We've made fire hydrants a key issue. You talk about safety, and we do work on safety. So I think if you want to be a little bit more, if you want to know more, maybe you should come in and talk to me, and we'll tell you about the other things we have in place. But there is things in place to make sure that we have fire hydrants in place, but also at the same time, for the last how many years, since 2009, Ed, we've got pumpers that come in immediately. So what ends up happening is when a fire call happens, a pumper from another community comes out, goes directly to the fire, to the call of the fire. A second pumper is dispatched immediately that comes and sits at the fire station. So as the water from that pumper starts to get low, that pumper can come directly to the fire. And then a third, if needed, a third pumper is dispatched and sent to the police, or sent to the fire department to stay there. So we make sure we have enough water. The other thing is we had issues with not being able to have enough water quality or quantity. We got our water quality taken care of. Now, once all three wells are up and running, we'll have water quantity. Again, there's a lot of things here that, of course, you've made some statements that I will verify. And then once I verify, I will find out why I wasn't, why I did not know about it. And I will find out if the steps that we put in place were taken care of. Because the steps that we had put in place was, Ed, you're sitting right there, that if they go to open a fire hydrant and it doesn't open, it's broken, or no water comes out, that the water department, public works department is supposed to be called out immediately. So there's steps already in place. I mean, you already talked about the wrenches. I mean, the fire department was using about a 3-foot wrench, and we ended up getting over probably almost a 4 or 5 foot wrench, the same ones that they were using for the public works department. Because what we ended up finding out was a lot of the complaints that people were saying that the fire hydrants were broken, they weren't broken. What was happening was, of course, when you're in a fire, you're moving as fast as you can, okay? They were taking that small wrench up there to go turn, they weren't able to turn it. They were saying, oh, it's not opening, so they go to the next one. And they go to the next one, until they could get one open. We know that with our water, and when you're out there, when you open one of those, you hear this suction noise, and this great big pop from when those seals open up for that water to come out. I can say one of the biggest complaints we had, where was that, Ed, Carolina? Or Carlisle States was one of our biggest complaints. You know, it was all over the place. Every fire hydrant out there didn't work. I took off work the very next morning. I went out there. I had Trustee Myers was out there, took the fire chief out there. I had, 3 or 4 public works employees. We went out there and opened every single one of those fire hydrants, and not one of them were broken. So, you know, again, there's people out there making statements and running with those statements that have no idea what they're talking about. And I think what we need to do is make sure, first of all, that those statements are correct. And secondly, which we will find out, and I want to know tomorrow, I don't care what time you find out, I'm going to call. I want to find out why I make it happen and why you do.
Well, as I took it, I have connections, Mr. Mayor.
You have good connections.
Here's the thing, and I'm not pointing the finger at anyone. I'm just saying there's a breakdown. Whether it's not, is Mr. Farrell not telling you, someone's not telling him.
It's a department head.
It's a breakdown of communication, and that's far above my level. I'm just saying, what is the price that the village wants to pay?
That's why I will get involved.
Who we have.
Whenever there's a safety issue, I get personally involved.
Very good.
And I have on every single one.
That addresses my concern. For now, anyway.
Whenever there's especially a safety issue, I am personally involved. I take a day off work, I take a day off work, and I'm considering about taking a day off tomorrow, because I'm very irritated.
Don't be irritated.
So hopefully I'll sleep good tonight, 'cause if I don't, I'll be making a call and taking a vacation day tomorrow.
Do we know how many fire hydrants we have? I know at one point the fire department had fire hydrants sitting over there, and I don't know if they're still over there.
Do we have 4? No, Public Works, I think it might be 4.
Public Works has
4 or 5.
had them, and they have installed all the new ones by now.
Okay, we got them all installed then?
The one that we had problem with was the kitchen fire. Immediately behind us came 2,300 gallons.
Can you use the microphone, please?
Next to us.
We can't hear you.
We tied into that tanker, and we had water supply, not any time. By the time I had it ready to call for water, and a hose line inside the kitchen, we had water tied into that tanker, from the tanker. The fire hydrant would contact Public Works, and Public Works sent an employee out, it's in the middle of the night, Alex came out, evaluated, and the next morning, he said there was a pin, sheared off in the stem screw that turns the valve up to cause water to flow in. And he assured us that has been repaired at the present time.
So that's one problem we have with those shear pins, because we have water and the older ones were made out of steel. And that's where we're having problems too. Some of our older models, which have the steel, and steel starts to corrode. That's why you've got these newer fire hydrants coming out that have more, what is it in there? Is it aluminum, or is it something that's not steel, where it doesn't not
The way it was explained to us, Mayor, was that the older ones builds up like a scale type resistant, eases itself to the bottom of the cup that allows the stem to move up and down. And in the process of trying to remove that stem, we do put the larger bar on it, and it snaps. The shear pin snaps. And then that's where you have to pull the cap off, go down, pull it apart, and put it in there. That's one of the cases that we don't have to dig a hydrant up. Most of the time, if it's a fully blown hydrant, then the Public Works has to dig it up. But that's not my expertise. The Public Works is not
and the Public Works has identified the fire hydrants that don't work. And they work with the fire chief, so he knows also which ones that don't work. And then again, they prioritize looking at areas where we can make sure that we have fire hydrants.
They're out testing this week, I believe. I thought I saw a sign up, so they will probably find some more. And it's on everything throughout any town you go to, and you find them, you mark them in your pair. We all been preaching this for a few years. By yourself.
Yeah, when I came on board, we were about 19% of the fire hydrants were not working. We're down to, last I heard, it's about 9% or less. So they have been being repaired over the last 2.5 years.
See, and the thing is that Chicago can very well survive with one hydrant per block or 2 blocks. So this is much smaller, and I think we need to make sure, because we're smaller, that we can not only give our firefighters a chance to do their jobs, but also we cannot, I do not believe you can forever tax other communities. It's good they join in and they help out, but I don't think we could bank on that all the time. Even though they showed up. Kegs Liquor was an example. But with Kegs Liquor became an issue with toning. Okay? Kurtz did not tone our fire department.
Well, there's been meetings about that also.
Okay. So I'm saying that there are other issues, but there are issues that you hopefully you'll weigh in on it and get it resolved. I'm just afraid that someone's going to get killed or seriously injured in one of these incidents. That's my concern. I have nothing else.
Yeah, I definitely want to know tomorrow. If you see me here, because I took a vacation day. Trustee Jones.
I did have my notes here.
What is this thing?
Okay, well, I had a great conversation with Derek Gold. put out on the internet. I spoke with him. I just wanted to see his vision, and, you know, before I back or speak upon it, I wanted to make sure that his heart and his vision was where he wanted to go. And he seems like a really good guy. And I'm gonna go meet with him tomorrow at the registration for a football sign-up over there at Bloom Township, Halstead, 425 Halstead. I'm gonna meet with him, and he's looking to walk in the parade too, and we're gonna come up with something and try to get some registrations going here for football. That's it.
Is that orange? Oh, you said it was.
The name for him?
No, that's right, yeah. All right, good. All right, thank you. Trustee Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say two things. Number one, I'm really going to try to make sure that all of our junior neighborhood watch get IDs. We're trying to get like little identification bracelets for them. Just something that they can walk along with the block club captains with. And also, I just wanted to make a note. I think that I can make it during this time. I'm asking as one trustee, I know in the back we can't talk about certain things, but moving forward, if there's anything that needed to be voted on for money being spent, that the trustees can be notified before any money is spent or dispersed, and we can be notified via email or text message if there's something that we have to hurry up and pay. The trustees, we need to know about any monies that's being spent or allocated to go out before it's done. And that concludes my report.
Okay, Trustee Grant.
Yes, first thing, next Wednesday, June 17th, at 7 o'clock here, we will have our town hall meeting. And I'm going to ask this question again, Mr. Mayor and village clerk. I would like to have on the committee agenda next Tuesday a discussion on questions and comments from the audience. I think we need to look at that again. That was done back in 2011. That was reminded by me by the mayor. But I think we need to look at this again. There's a lot of people that are asking questions that they're not getting answered. And, you know, they come to the meetings so they can. A lot of people do come to the meetings so they get questions answered. And a lot of them may not know that first and third is a time that we can answer anything. I think we need to re-look at that ordinance and discuss it. I would like to have it again on the agenda for next Tuesday to be discussed in committee. That's all I have.
All righty. Next, I'd ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.